Last boots on the ground.
See, there's a big problem with media these days and with movies and whatnot, is that people don't like identity politics. Most people don't. People don't like forced diversity. They don't like diversity for the sake of diversity. Like a checklist you gotta click off. Okay, you got your Asian guy, you got your black guy. Representation is great, but forced representation is toxic. It is nothing but toxic because it doesn't care about the source material. It shows no respect for the art itself. Leslie Jones was one of the female actors who starred in the 2016 reboot remake of Ghostbusters. And the article I have here, you guys know I like to read articles. I don't just like to have, whatever. This article, I'm not sure if it's biased or not. I don't know if it's clearly taken aside. I didn't really look far. I just wanted to get a quick article that had this, and because I'm in a hurry right now, I wanted to prepare a little ahead of time. But I might read another article after this and try to find one that's more unbiased. But let's read what this says. I just wanted one that told the story, honestly. Leslie Jones slams new Ghostbusters movie that ignores the female reboot. Hollywood may be making another Ghostbusters movie, but Leslie Jones is most definitely not here for it. Following 2016's all-female version of Ghostbusters and the slew of misogynist trash that was spouted as a result, it's now been announced that the franchise is being rebooted again, but this time with men. Okay, let's take a pause a little bit. Let's take a pause. Okay, first the title. Let's take a look at the title, please. Actually, you know what? I'm glad I didn't research this. I'm glad I just picked a random article, because this is prime for dissection. Leslie Jones slams new Ghostbusters movie that ignores the female reboot. How about the female reboot that completely ignored the core and heart of the franchise? I'm not saying this because, oh, you're saying it because it wasn't men. No, I'm saying it because this is clearly forced. This is not... There's no respect for the source material. There's no homage to it whatsoever. Oh, let's do a whole I have nothing against female leads. Nothing at all. I'll go into that later. But I like how the article spins it as the new Ghostbusters is going to completely ignore the female reboot. Just like the female reboot completely ignored the original two. Yes, I'm glad we're on the same page. Okay. Let's see, how we may be making that's not really important. That's pretty straightforward. Okay, following 2016's all-female version of Ghostbusters and the slew of misogynist trash that was spouted as a result. Now, let's back up a little bit. Okay. The comments that came out attacking the actors, Leslie Jones. The comments that threw racially driven or sexist driven, feelings. Those I do not defend whatsoever. I do not defend them whatsoever. I think that's horrible. I am completely against that type of, attitude. But the problem I found is that actors like Leslie Jones and movie studios and pretty much a lot of mainstream media outlets, they kind of put fair criticisms and racist, sexist comments in one. I talk about Leslie Jones. I've noticed with Leslie Jones, if you disagree with her, you're a troll. You're just a troll. It doesn't matter if you called her the N-word. It doesn't matter if you actually criticize the character or the movie itself with fair, legitimate points. You're still a troll. And that's a problem. Because that does not leave any room for negotiation. It doesn't leave any room for criticism or, exchange of ideals. And I'm sure that there was a lot of misogynist trash. I'm sure there are a lot of misogynistic, egotistical, sexist, racist people out there. I'm sure. But I have a feeling that what they're referring to wasn't actually misogyny. It was actually just criticisms of the film. And that makes me laugh. So let's continue, please. I like it when it says, it's now been announced that the franchise is being rebooted again, but this time with men. It has with men underlined. With men. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. One of the stars of 2016's woman-centric Ghostbusters is not at all happy with the revelation that the fourth movie will ignore its predecessor. Really? You're not happy with that? You're not happy? Wow. Wow. You're not happy? Wow. Like it never even existed. Yeah. You telling me? The same way your movie completely ignored Ghostbusters, the one that everyone mostly loves, like it never even existed. Kinda hurts, don't it? Saturday Night Live's Leslie Jones took to Twitter to reveal her disgust writing so insulting. I'm not gonna try to do a Leslie Jones impression. It'd probably just be called racist anyway. Like, fuck us. We didn't count. It's like something Trump would do. Alright, personally, I don't know why Trump's in this thing. I don't know why Trump's here. Trump has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. Identity politics and regular politics, honestly. Amazing. I don't know how Trump got in this. Gonna redo Ghostbusters. Better with men. Will be huge. I say huge. Those women ain't Ghostbusters. Well, technically they are. They're in the movie Ghostbusters. And they're dressed up as Ghostbusters. So they are Ghostbusters. Just not the Ghostbusters most love. I'm gonna continue. Let's see, so annoying. Such a dick move, and I don't give a fuck. I'm saying something. Okay? No one cares. No one cares. Honestly, no one does. And they showed the tweet down here. Let's see, with the all-female reboot when the all-female reboot was initially announced, a lot of online hatred was directed at its stars. Again, some hatred, most of it was just legitimate criticisms, okay? Actress Kristen Wiig told the Los Angeles Times in October 2015, "The fact there was so much controversy because we were women was surprising to me. Some people said some really not nice things about the fact that there were women. It didn't make me mad, just really bummed me out." Okay, Kristen Wiig, you're a very talented actress. You're actually you're actually one of the actors in the movie that I actually really like. You and Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon is so superbly talented. Like, oh my gosh, she reminds me a lot of the SNL members that were like in 1970. Was that when Chevy Chase was in there? I think Jane Curtin was in there. You know, the classic. She reminds me of that kind of veneer. Not veneer, but you know what I'm trying to say. It wasn't because you're women. Okay? I'm referring to the criticism, not the online hatred, because I'm pretty sure the hatred that they're referring to was mostly just criticisms and the test for the film. It wasn't because you were women. It's because the film pushed identity politics. It pushed diversity for the sake of having diversity. It completely ignored the films that we love. Like I said, it showed no respect for it whatsoever. We didn't feel like this movie was made to continue on the legacy of Ghostbusters. We felt it was made to push diversity into any form that they could. Just because. Let's have an all-female Ghostbusters because representation. Representation. That is why it was controversial. Jones was also subjected to extreme racist abuse. Again, I'm not saying some of the comments weren't. Okay? Following the release of the Ghostbusters reboot, which included her being doxxed, I don't know what that means, honestly, and her website being hacked, which seriously begs the question, why are filmmakers giving into sexist and racist bullies who balk at women being given the screen time they deserve? This article, man, is gold. This article is gold. Okay. The movie didn't do well. Okay? Yeah, critics gave it a good score on Rotten Tomatoes and whatnot, but critics are so terrified of saying anything against this identity politics era of filmmaking. Of course they're not going to say something bad about the film. They'll be completely buried. They'll be ruined. No one in their right mind would say something bad about this film. If they're in that position, of course. It's not giving in to sexist bullies and whatnot, because trust me, Star Wars is still under the command of Disney, and they're still pumping out shit. Okay, guarantee it. And those people And I'm one of them. I'm just not the toxic one. Those people are crazy. Star Wars community can be very toxic at times. I love them, but they can be. So why are filmmakers giving to sexist and racist bullies who balk at women being given the screen time they deserve? Again, I really believe they're referring to the criticisms. I very much doubt that they're separating the two. I think that anyone at this point who criticized the film and was like, you know, this isn't right, were called racist, sexist bullies. I really believe that's the case. And I think that's the end of the article right here. Yeah, I'm not gonna read another article. This was gold. This was all I needed. The hypocrisy, though, from Leslie Jones. The hypocrisy from Leslie Jones is astounding. Now she knows how it feels. I just can't. Listen, Leslie Jones, your film does not have superiority over the original. Okay? For people to get outraged and upset that the first two films and the cast were completely ignored, the entire canon was completely ignored to make way for that garbage of... first of all, let me just stay up front. I'll be honest, I never saw the film. I never did. I saw the trailer, I was like, you know, I'm not going to watch that film. I have heard things from people who have seen it, so yeah, you might want to say, well, how can you review a film if you've never even seen the film? I'm not reviewing the film. I'm explaining why people don't like it and the hypocrisy of Leslie Jones' comments. I'm not here to review the film. I didn't tell you it was good or bad. I'm just dealing off what I've heard from people, from the majority actually. And I've, you know, a few scenes I was told, like apparently the film starts with a queef joke. I've heard it from several people, and they beat the bad ghost by kicking him in the nuts or something, you know. So I'm not here to review the film, honestly. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about the hypocrisy. So I still have a leg to stand on. Mainly a leg, maybe two legs. But it's just so, oh my god, it's astounding that she's getting upset that her film's getting ignored, and yet she totally brushed off and labeled anyone who even got the same way about the original films as trolls, as haters. Now personally, I'm not a fan of Leslie Jones whatsoever. I don't think she's funny. I don't think she's talented. As a person though, I have nothing against her. And I think that any attacks on her person, racist, you know, sexist, whatever, is absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. I believe in criticizing the art, the media. I do not believe in taking personal attacks toward a person. As an actress, criticism, yes, that's perfectly fine. Everyone to a point. Well, actually, everyone is open to criticism. Harassment and attacks, no. But I just think it's so funny, the hypocrisy of her to say this. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a fan at all. I don't think she's funny or talented. I find her to be very, very cringy. Very cringy. Just horrible. However, that does not change the fact that this film was hated by most people. Before it even, you know, came out, it was hated by most people for a very good reason. Hollywood needs to stop doing this. Stop changing things to fit representation. Okay? Because you might please a few people, but these are not the people who are watching your film. These are not the fans of the film. Star Wars has had that too, representation. We've had Rey's character is completely a marriage too. I don't care what the actress says. I have nothing against Daisy Really? Daisy Ridley, right? Is that her name? Is that her name? I think she's a very talented actress. I think that she's funny. She has good charisma with John Boyega, of course. And, you know, very beautiful woman indeed. I think she has a bright future ahead of her. But as Rey, that is a horribly written character. Horribly written character. I mean, most fans of, you know, Ghostbusters and Star Wars, they don't mind a strong female lead. I guarantee you. You know what my favorite female lead character is? Ellen Ripley. Badass. Complete badass. Great character development. I love Ellen Ripley. You know, you got Princess Leia, who is the complete opposite of what a princess, our preconceived notion of what a princess is. Completely shattered that. And again, the problem is not that you're making movies with female leads. Is that shit attempts. It's lazy. You take already existing stories, already existing canon, you completely push it aside, you just replace it with women, and it feels so forced. It's so blatantly, obviously forced. And then you wonder how it went wrong. As far as Ghostbusters 3 finally coming, I'm glad. I am so glad. I really am. I'm so glad about this. And in some way, I'm glad Leslie Jones is feeling the burn. I'm glad she is. I hold no sympathy for her whatsoever. No sympathy whatsoever for her. It's just ridiculous. And like I said, the problem with Leslie Jones is that she can't handle criticism. That's been very, obvious. She can't handle it. She has no capacity for it whatsoever. I have seen on her Twitter legitimate criticisms for the film, and they get knocked down, and actually they get attacked by Leslie or her supporters and whatnot, and get called trolls for bringing up good points about why people don't like this movie. Do I plan to see it? Absolutely no, I do not. The fact that I haven't seen it, does that make my argument illegitimate? No, it doesn't. Because again, I'm not reviewing the film. I'm here to talk about why people don't like it. Alright? Because people didn't like it before it even came out. And like I said, no sympathy whatsoever. My God, this whole thing has just been so crazy. So Leslie, I'm glad you feel the pain. I'm glad you finally feel what we feel. The reason why people didn't like your film is not because you're black. It's not because you have no talent. Okay, that's. I just want to throw a joke in there. That's subjective. I don't feel like you have any talent. It's not because of any of those things. People don't like your film because people are sick of identity politics. They are sick of diversity for sake of diversity. They are sick of having their favorite franchises treated like a checklist. And it needs to stop. Keep coffee hot as always, fans and fights. Make sure you give them hell, Chel. I'll see you guys in the next